if you like.
All right.
All right. I think I've just turned into the. I'll do chicken. Chicken are my nights.
Okay.
Hi, how are you? You are first. I started doing this thing, going live here a lot more on these accounts, just answering questions when it comes to things that I can help with, or just experiences and stuff that I've had. Just because I know that it's nice not to feel alone. I do go live on YouTube at the same time. I go live here, go live on Instagram. What's up? The But I do treat these chats for 18 and older. I am just very big and open about a lot of things. Any tips? Any tips on what? A lot of comments actually get blocked on my end. So if you do comment something and I don't respond, typically it means that I literally just didn't see it. That's also one of the reasons I do go live on what is it, YouTube at the same time, because YouTube is a little bit more freedom of speech. What's out, Kayla? You followed ever since. I appreciate that. How you been? The You're on Ritalin. Um, if you're on Ritalin, I mean, my best suggestion is this: is just talk to your doctor if it's either working or not working. Ritalin didn't work very well for my ADHD. I mean, it worked, but the one problem that I had with it working is it dropped me too quick. And if you know what like a Ritalin drop is or Adderall drop is, it's a stimulant will hit your system. You'll slow down, but then all of a sudden it just disappears. And now all of a sudden you lose that dopamine rush. You lose it, throws off your serotonin stuff a little bit. So you do get depressed. That's why a lot of times if you're on Ritalin, they'll give you oh, what is it? They'll give you like Lexapro and stuff. They'll give you a lot of times like an SSRI to try and offset that, or Wellbutrin. None of it ever really worked for me, but I've just kind of figured out ways to work through some of the drops. Thank you, Philip. I appreciate that. Are there any, let's see this, are there any mean going meetings? I can concur when I didn't concur sobriety yet. I would say this. I mean, don't go to. I mean, go to NA meetings if you want to get sober. That's my only suggestion when it comes to NA meetings. Like, if you're not ready to get sober, a lot of people are not ready to get sober yet. Like, don't go to the meetings. They're a waste of time. They are going to. You're going to go there and you're going to feel that it's pointless. It's going to be a waste of time. So my suggestion is, if you're not ready to get sober, don't waste your time with the meetings. If you really want to get sober, then do meetings. You're 14 years sober, sweet. Hi, David. How you doing? SSI's never. Yeah, antidepressants never helped me much. You found me on YouTube? Nice. How do you know if people are doing drugs? You just do. I don't, dude. Every drug has different side effects if somebody is using drugs, or if somebody is high at that time. I didn't do every drug in the book, so I don't know, truly what the signs are if it came to like heroin was never a drug that I did. Meth I've done before, so I could tell you about that. Like, I try to only share stuff from experience. I'm not the type of person that's just going to make up a bunch of bullshit and just kind of throw it out there. I like to talk about shit that I have been through. I think it's a lot easier to relate to somebody when you're like, dude, I fucking get it, dude. That person fucking knows what they're talking about. Your vids are motivating, even though I never take drugs. Well, thanks, Ryan. Going through the sheet show of addiction. Thanks for speaking to me. Well, some else stuff. Good job, Tiffany. Well, congratulations on, man. It's hard to wake up from just using. Yeah, 3.5 grams at least. And you got to realize this. Like, I didn't go from 0 to 100 real quick. When it comes to addiction, especially, I've been on Adderall since I was like 17, 18. I was a senior in high school when Adderall came out. And so when it came to stimulants in my system, I've been on stimulants most of my life, unfortunately. So it was an easy build up to it. And also, I started doing coke at, like, during my peak of my addiction. I was doing coke at like 8:30 in the morning. That was my coffee. I mean, I literally, it was coke and it was vodka and it was Red Bulls, and that was about it. How many oxys? Withdrawals are different for everyone. Have I ever used kratom? Yes, Tammy. I have a whole video series on kratom. I've done a lot of videos on kratom, actually, and there are positive sides to kratom. I mean, I do know people that have gone off of opiates using kratom. But I also know people who have relapsed back into opiates. I know people that have relapsed all the way back into heroin and fentanyl and died. Yeah, essentially, kratom didn't kill them, but kratom, instead of going the Suboxone route, put them back into their active addiction. 26-year-old son has coke addictions and type 1 diabetes. I'm afraid to kick him out. It's hard, man. He has to hit rock bottom. I mean, the hard thing is you're never going to help an addict unless they truly want to get help. If it
Your
sucks,
eyes so
dude.
red.
What?
Your eye is so red.
Oh, is it? Probably my contacts. They're getting older. Um, Now, if you have a son that has addiction, I mean, the best thing I can say is to literally kick him out, and I get it. But the one thing that is, the one thing I can say about it is an addict is going to get sober one way or another. They're either going to die or they're going to get sober while they're alive. Um, Set up those healthy boundaries. I mean, that's the best that I can go without like going into huge detail of, trying to set those boundaries up. What do I think of Mary Jane? If it works for you, it works for you. I mean, that's probably the least addictive substance out there that I know of. I mean, I know everything's addictive. Everything can be
Do you
dangerous.
want me to pin some of these questions that are going fast and you're missing?
Yeah,
Make it
yeah, I am
faster.
in Boise. Yep. You once said you would upload a YouTube video. It's on my YouTube channel. I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel. If you click the link in the bio and you go to my YouTube, I have a ton of videos up. I have videos on harm, on coping techniques through harm, through anything. I even have a video up about harm addiction. There is an addictive factor to it because there is a dopamine rush to it. There is a reward processing center for it in your brain. So I do actually share videos on that. You have to go back, I want to say a couple years probably,
You can search.
to find it. You can, yeah,
You can search it in your YouTube.
oh, okay.
Probably.
You can probably search on my YouTube channel and check it out. Um, the Salvia experience is up there too. I've used Salvia too. Salvia is scary. But my thought about the green stuff is that it really comes down to is how you use it. I mean, people abuse electronics. People abuse a lot of different things. People can get addicted to a lot of different things. It's not just always substance abuse. You're welcome. Um, yeah, I think you're right. I've started getting a tolerance, but I'm sober 2 years. Congratulations on sober 2 years. Thank you. Or mixes out his insulin. Dude, I get it, and that's the.
I had a bad experience with like smoking pot.
Did
The
you?
only time I started smoking so much my like senior year, the only time I could eat, I would have migraines if I didn't wasn't high, and the only time I was hungry is if I was smoking. Yeah, I got pretty bad there for like
Damn,
6 months.
girl.
I know. So I had to like I had to like come down off of it and like, yeah. I told you that.
You did actually. Now that you said that, now I was like, I remember that now. Um,
That's one of the reasons I don't do it anymore. Like I really haven't like since.
that makes sense. When did I start using? I trialed and errored it with kratom. So kratom is a leaf from Indonesia or Southeast Asia, Indonesia area. There's green, red, and white kratom, and it's like a balance. It's a touchy area to talk about because you have these people that are so pro kratom. I started trying kratom because SSRIs didn't help me. I was still going through a very depressive state at that time. I probably could have helped myself a lot better by just getting divorced and moving. That would actually probably helped a lot more than anything else. That actually helped the best with my depression. It was getting out of a relationship and just literally restarting my life. But the one thing is I was like working with my doctors and stuff of like, how do I work through this depression? I got diagnosed with MDD. It's major depressive disorder. And I looked and did some research into kratom, and so I was like, you know what? Let me try kratom. So kratom's legal in California. You can go down to tons of different stores out there sell kratom. And so I started with white kratom, got the capsules, and I looked at it as a medication. I talked with my psychiatrist about it. So I took four of these capsules in the morning with my Adderall, and I took four in the afternoon with my Adderall. The one thing was with white kratom, every experience that people told me that I would experience with kratom, I had different experiences. So white kratom, it helped me with my mood, but the one thing I always ran into with a lot of things is it made me real lethargic, and it made me to the point where I just didn't want to do anything. I was happy, I was in a good mood, but I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to be active. I did it for 30 days. I stopped it. Didn't notice any differences. So then I went to um, green kratom. Green kratom, I noticed, gave me more energy all of a sudden. It made put me in a better mood. I was active with it. When I got off of green kratom, though, I noticed a little bit of withdrawals from it, a little bit of trouble sleeping, a little twitch. Wasn't too terribly bad, and then I went to red kratom, and red kratom was the one that withdrawal sucked. That withdrawal for about 5 days was pretty crappy. Hot and cold flashes, restless legs, lots of body aches. Hot and cold flashes really sucked. Um, and just the body aches itself sucked. Sweating, just couldn't use the bathroom. I mean, it was a lot to go through. Not nearly what heroin withdrawal is or opiate withdrawals, but it does somewhat mirror those, depending on even how addictive that you get it. SSRIs don't work for me, and I know that they work for a lot of people, but not for me. I like smoking for anxiety, but do you have any advice for daily stress? Daily stress? I don't know.
Got advice for what?
Daily stress?
What's stressing you out?
Yeah.
You have to eliminate the stress, which I
Yeah.
know is impossible to do, but you have to find ways to manage that stressful, like what is stressful, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's your job, you need to take a step back and like reevaluate some of the things.
Yeah.
Talk to employees, I don't know. I mean, we've all dealt with different like stressors.
Mm-hmm. I am I'm good, Leon. Do I take any pills? I still take Adderall. I've been on Adderall for a while. What do I think about fentanyl? It's one of the most dangerous drugs out there. Fentanyl is one of the scariest drugs out there. I'm also very glad that I'm not on cocaine anymore, because fentanyl is something that's commonly cut with cocaine now. When it comes to fentanyl, that to me is just the scariest drug. I have lost more friends to fentanyl overdose than anything else. Um, and again, it's nobody even as an addict plans on ODing and dying. Like I'm going to do a video on what ODing on meth is like, because ODing on meth and ODing on coke do happen. A lot of times people don't realize, like we always think of like fentanyl, you think of opiates and stuff like that, of those ODs. But you also can OD on cocaine, you can OD on crystal meth, and those are more cardiac arrests that you're going to go into. Um, I can't work because of my ADHD. I'm medicated. Trial and error some with the medication. I mean, if your ADHD meds don't work, man, talk to your therapist and let them know. A lot of times we'll get on meds and we think they're supposed to work, and if they don't work, dude, like talk to your doctor and be like, this shit isn't working for me, and find something else. It does help to try different meds out there. 7 years sober, no nicotine, coming up on 1 year since my son took his own life. He was drinking, using certain drugs. My heart goes out to you, Bev, and congratulations on the sobriety. When was I? First time I tried Coke, I was like 17, I want to say I was when I tried Coke, 16, 17. I was in high school. Didn't really do a whole lot for me. I liked drinking a lot more. I played a lot of sports. So then later on in life, when I was right around 22, 23, is when I started to get really bad with cocaine. Um, my day's been good. How's your day been? Happy birthday. Um,
Happy birthday
Happy birthday. How do you control your
to you.
social anxiety? I
That's
mean,
my
when it comes to, I share a lot of hacks and stuff that can help with anxiety of, anything from like Vicks to cough drops to, here's what it is I'll just, the best way you can explain anxiety is fear of fear. Anxiety is your thought process. It's literally disassociating. You get stuck in your head. That is essentially what anxiety is. Your senses are stronger than your thoughts. So the sense of touch, the sense of taste, the sense of smell, the sense of hearing, the sense of sight. I mean, these senses are stronger than what your anxiety are. Now, it's to find what senses are the strongest for you. I don't have the best hearing, so like music and stuff like that doesn't really help me a whole lot. When it comes to my senses, my strongest sense is the sense of taste. I have actually really bad sense of smell, but there are certain smells still that do hit me pretty strong that I can still smell. So it did help me through my grounding. And so, I mean, it's more or less finding little coping tools and stuff that work for you. One of the big things is if you get in with a therapist, try CBT therapy or DBT therapy, and that can help you with it. I grew up in Michigan. I love watching my videos. It's helped you understand addiction more. Well, I'm glad it's helped you understand addiction. I mean, that's why I share so that it helps people understand addiction. It's the hardest thing is to try and understand addiction. Don't let your wings fly before they're ready. um, Understanding addiction is one of the most difficult things to do. I can really say is when it comes to addiction, if you want to truly understand an addict, give somebody your phone and let them hide it and not tell you where it is, and enjoy what it's like to be an addict, because that's essentially what it is. Could you imagine that? I've had people. So I did a video.
You could take my water bottle away from me.
Don't take the phone. The funny part is I did a video on that, and I had so much hate because people are like, "Well, I really need my phone." And just listening to these excuses that people were telling of why they needed their phone, I'm like, you could literally overcome all these excuses. These are excuses like I made as an addict. Well, I need it for work. Well, guess what? You can use other people's phone. You can have a house phone.
You could use a.
You can use your email. You can use so many other things. Drinking now, have 4 a.m. plumber apprentice fourth. I've lost jobs because of it. Yes, Jess, dude, drinking got in the way of everything for me. Drinking was just, it was so much of a coping for me. How much did I make at my old job? The job that I lost when I was in addiction, I was making about 50 grand a month. The job after that, I was making really good money too, but I didn't end that job due to addiction. There's only one job that I ended up really losing to addiction. All the rest of them I didn't lose to addiction, especially even after I got sober. Now I do essentially social media full time, and I do a lot of other stuff, and I help my wife with her business and stuff. Feeling I'm going to develop addiction because my mom's a smoker and if you're afraid of forming an addiction, you're probably not going to have an addiction. I can say that. Thank you so much for the money. I appreciate the gift. I truly do appreciate that. Give you advice. I can give you advice. This: if you're struggling, tell everybody out there that you're struggling. Tell everybody that you're struggling. That's the easiest thing I can say. You'd be surprised how many people out there actually do care about you and do want to see you succeed. You'd be surprised how nice strangers can actually be. Can I answer your question? I can, Val, if I see it pop up. Absolutely, David. I used to use drinking to help my anxiety. Funny thing, it actually gives you. It does. Dude, I used to drink to alleviate my depression, and I used to drink to alleviate my anxiety. And I couldn't control the drinking, so it would get me to the point of that I was massively depressed. That's a part of the reason I don't own a gun. I would get so depressed. For alcohol and addiction itself, you'll start medicating for problems that your addiction gives you. You literally self-medicate because you think it helps you with one problem. Next thing you know, it causes a bunch of other problems. And now all of a sudden you're like, fuck, now you keep using to escape the problems that your addiction has created for you. You are too, Juju. I'm going to a psychiatrist or psychologist, and I don't feel I should prove him. If you don't feel like you're improving with the psychologist, here's my suggestion. Are you honest to your psychologist? If you're not honest to your therapist, the therapy is not going to work. Therapy fails. I lied to all my therapists. I lied to my therapist for the longest times. We always tell our therapists that we're fine, we're okay, and we don't ever ask our therapist for tools or things to help us through a lot of times.
I noticed it yesterday too.
Where is it?
Like the
inside?
Underneath.
I don't know. It's peeling.
I can see it.
Your day 9 of your yearly sober month. I can't do a sober month. I have to do a sober life. I haven't started hallucinating from booze after last relapse 2 years ago. That's a lot, man. If you what was my turning point? My turning point was I hit rock bottom. I mean, I lost a job. I lost a lot. And I got tired of repeating the same cycle. I got tired that like literally I would constantly wake up and I would ruin my life like every 3 years. Every 3 years I would lose a solid relationship or a marriage. I would walk away and make bad decisions and walk away from jobs that I shouldn't have walked away from. And I wondered why I continued to form that cycle, and so much of it was based around addiction. I can grow a beard if I want to, but I don't like beards. What happened? You just missed it all? Yeah, I'm not a big beard person. What do I do? Therapy don't work. Find a different therapist. Therapy works if you want it to work. If you're really going, again, mental health is so much based around even like addiction. I can relate a lot of my mental health to addiction. you have to want to get help. You have to want it to get better. And you have to believe and know that it will get better, but it takes a lot of work. And it's not like you just wake up one day and it all is fucking better. And we want the easy way out. We want a quick pill that we can pop or something that we can do that all of a sudden makes everything better. And it doesn't work that way. It's a fucking battle sometimes. And you have to fight at it and push for every single day. And there's a lot of different tools out there that you can use that really will help you get out of some bad spots. But you have to want it bad enough. And it sometimes takes sacrifice. I had to leave a marriage. My marriage was a toxic marriage. It wasn't a healthy marriage. That alone helped a lot with my anxiety. It helped with my panic attacks. It helped with my depression. I mean, you have to make life changes and truly be selfish in the fact that you want to be happy and you want to overcome it. How did I manage to work while I was on coke and alcohol, dude? I was a fucking functioning alcoholic. I was so I would do lines in the bathroom and go down and work deals and do manager meetings. It became something that was such a part of my day that it was so easy for me to function high. I almost had trouble functioning sober after a while because I was so used to functioning high. Um, so, I mean, there's a lot of functioning addicts out there. You'd be blown away by how many people are functioning when it comes to addiction. I still feel like I'm fighting depression because only people who have experienced depression understand you're constantly tired. You are, and that is a part of it. You do get very constantly tired. It's exhausting. But I will say this, man. You want to know what's helped me with a lot of it is the stuff that we always make fun of when we're fucking depressed. So if you want to know what has helped me the most with my depression, this is what keeps me going the easiest with my depression. I shower every single day. I make my bed every single day. I put on new clothes every single day. I brush my teeth and take care of my mouth every single fucking day. I set goals every single day. I mean, I go to the gym. I work out. I eat healthy. I mean, there's so much that I do to just take care of my stuff that allows me to just enjoy some of the smaller joys in life and find a lot of gratitude in life too. Um, Hi from Virginia. You can totally relate to the stories. I'm glad, Andy. What's the worst, being a coke addict, or being a it's different for everybody. It is different for everybody because when it comes to addiction, it's our drug of choice. People don't realize that there is a drug of choice. So hydrocodone for some people, Norcos. I know people that have chewed those things like fucking candy, dude, and that's opiate. That's their drug of choice. For me, it wasn't my drug of choice. I know for people, meth is their drug of choice. They go off the fucking deep end with it. For me, I did meth was not my drug of choice. It wasn't what I wanted to do. When it came to cocaine, though, I became obsessed with it, and that is truly what makes a drug dangerous. And it's different for everybody. Is that obsession drug? That all of a sudden, that is all that you fucking care about is that drug, and that drug dictates now all of a sudden your life. And yeah, if you want mentoring, my wife, the Miss Impulsive, actually just tag the phone number. I do have a phone number out there that you can text me. It is $4.99 a day if you want to text me. Just because I do get thousands of messages and I can't message everybody. It is for 18 and older. But if you do want help when it comes to addiction, I do mentoring also through ericbzink.com. I do a lot when it comes to people that are addicts just looking for help. Coming up on a week since you tried to end it. Well, I'm glad that you're still here. What if TikTok is your addiction? It can be addiction, dude. Social media is an addiction. Um, and while you're in, well, just know that you do matter. Was the people around you aware? People around me weren't aware of my addiction. People around me were aware that I was a lot of fun to be around. People around me were aware that if you're around me, you're going to get high. You're going to have a lot of coke around you. You're going to get a lot of alcohol. Because the one thing too is with my addiction, towards the end, I was very isolated. When you're the worse and worse that your addiction grows, you become more and more isolated. And so isolation itself for me was my obsession. But for a long time, people around me they got to reap almost the rewards of my addiction. If they wanted to party and they wanted to drink, I was more than happy to go and get drunk with them. Superior app. Oh yeah, so Superior Mind, the app, is an app out there. I've done some stuff with them, and I've talked about this app some. It's small exercises because we don't know. There's not a lot of exercises out there. Like there's no classes out there how to build resilience or how to set goals or any of that. And so Superior Mind is literally an app with a ton of different exercises on it that are designed for you to help build resistance, to learn how to set goals. There's small little exercises, and for me, it was always like the little victories in life. So if I did an exercise and it was 4 minutes long on this app, I got done with it and I was like, dude, okay, I accomplished something. I felt good about accomplishing something. And now, next thing you know, I've learned something new and I could apply it to my life. I was one of those that I've always tried to fucking just rope in anything I could tool wise to help me through what I've been through. Being a functioning addict isn't talked about enough. It is an S&P, dude. Functioning addicts are real, dude. I was a massive functioning addict. I mean, my days started off. I was obsessed. So I would wake up in the morning, not sure how I would wake up. I would literally wake up in the morning. My alarm would be going off. It's about 6. I would wake up at about 6:30. I knew by about 7 o'clock my shakes were fucking set. So I would get up, I would go make some coffee, I would jump in the shower. I would always check my fridge because I'd black out most nights. So I would always check my fridge and my freezer to see if there was alcohol in there. And if there was, I was drinking shower beers or I was taking shots before the shower. Jump into the shower, get ready, and my whole focus now was on getting my ass to 7-Eleven so I could get a case of 99 bananas on my way to work. I'd get a case of 99 bananas because alcoholics will tell you this: we don't drink for the taste, we drink for the percentage. So I would get a case of 99 banana shooters, and then I would get two 20-ounce Red Bulls, and I would get 2 packs of cigarettes. And I would drink a Red Bull in a case of 99 bananas on my way to work. I'd be literally doing shots in my fucking truck, throwing them in the fucking back, slamming Red Bulls with the music blaring on my way to work. I would turn on Westminster Boulevard in California in Orange County. And right in the corner of Beach Boulevard and Westminster Boulevard, there's this plaza and there's a liquor store in there. And so I would go in there and I'd get a fifth of Blue UV, cheap ass vodka, high percentage alcohol content. And it was easy enough that I could slam it without any kind of chaser. And then I would drive my ass to work. I'm already drunk as fuck now, pulling into the fucking parking garage. So I have to go hold a sales meeting now. What do? I'm going to do some fat rails because in my brain that's going to sober me up. So now I'm doing lines of coke at about 8:30 in the morning before I go in and do a sales meeting because I'm trying to balance myself out, really fucking myself up. And that was just the start of my days. Have you ever craved after you, for a while I did, but once you get sober and once you really work and make sobriety part of your life, all those cravings really leave you. No, never craving stand it. Not anymore. I've lost 4 people to suicide. One was my brother. That's why I say don't let your wings fly before they're ready. And over, dude, my heart goes out to you, and I know what that's like, and that is a struggle. And it's a struggle for anybody who's lost anybody, man. I feel for you because I know what it's like to lose a loved one, and that's a lot. It's a lot of grief. It's a lot of shit to fucking go through, man. It's a lot. Um, what about Adderall, Bill? Bill, it's showing up in a different language, so I don't know what language that is, and it's not translating for me. Facilitator, a really good daily living action plan. Nice, CL. Absolutely, Rob. Um, just the person I need to see after doing a line. Nice. Um, what do you, what to do against cigarettes addiction? Nicotine addiction is brutal. I used to smoke a ton, but I went to the pouches that are just the nicotine salts. That's helped me tremendously. I haven't smoked a cigarette since, man, like May of 2021. So it's been a while now. Why does meth make them stop loving people? Sharon, meth and drugs will make people stop loving people for this. An addict doesn't love anyone. That's the thing that you have to learn. If you have somebody in your life that is an addict, they don't love you. They don't. They might love you, but you are not on that list of love. You're not on the top. You never will be. Their drug of choice is going to be on the top. That is what an addict truly loves. An addict will give up everything for that drug of choice, no matter what it is. It's not you, it's not personal, it's their addiction. They will feed their addiction. Their addiction matters to them more than you do. And you have to accept that. If you can't accept that this addict truly loves something more than you, now all of a sudden, guess what? It's never going to settle in with you. It's never going to make sense. It's going to be hard to set up those boundaries. It's going to be hard to set up healthy boundaries because an addict truly loves their drug of choice. Being born and raised in Chicago, you always get used to losing people. It always hurts. It does always hurt to lose people. It does for sure. Um, what kind of friends did I have growing up? I had a great childhood growing up. My dad was a very successful doctor. I had a wonderful childhood. I didn't have a bad childhood whatsoever. You'll never see me in a video going through and saying like, "Hey, I had the terrible childhood. You know, we were in poverty. All this." No, no. What made me start drinking? I don't know. You know, I don't think any addict knows. It became all of a sudden one of those things that I just found this obsession out there. Um, one day, 1 month clean. You never failed. The thing with sobriety, I think that people don't realize is that every time you either relapse or any of that, it's not failing. You've learned and you've went so far. You didn't throw all that shit in the trash. You know what to do. A lot of it is learning to not be a little bitch. And that's the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing for me is not being a little bitch, not being a whiny bitch, not enabling myself was the hardest thing for me. And you learn that over time. And if you guys do want some mentoring, Miss Impulsive tagged up there the phone number I do have that you can text. You know, Vaughn, dude, seriously, dude, thank you because you didn't fail. I mean, that's the worst part is we put so much pressure on ourselves about relapse. The we put so much in pressure on us to be sober, and we have to be sober, and then all of a sudden we relapse, and guess what? We beat ourselves up because we relapse, and your relapse wasn't a failure, and you have to remember that. Um, it sucks seeing a parent going through alcohol addiction, especially when they're blind to it. Everybody's blind, I think, to their addiction. I don't think no addict out there really truly sees how much of an addict they are. We make up all these excuses that we're just going to do a little bit. We're just going to use a little bit, and we have this all under control, and it's not the case. I go in depression. How do you buy drugs? But no, I have no idea how you buy drugs via the internet. I mean, I do, but I'm not gonna tell you. How do you know when it's got to the point of addiction? I think that's a really good question. I think you don't know if you're an addict, that you are an addict. Looking back at it, I knew I was an addict when my day started revolving around getting high or whatever it was that was my drug of choice. When my day started to revolve around this, and that was what I started to constantly think about, I would start to obsess about, I would come up with ways to figure out how to get it. That's when I realized that I was truly a full blown addict at that time. My life was no longer in my control, my life was in my drugs' control. And so that's what I became obsessed about and that I wanted. And I don't think you realize that when you're an addict, that all of a sudden you start living your days around getting high. Start living your days around how am I going to score again? Do I have enough money to get a fucking eight ball? That's what you start living your day and your life around. You're not living it around anything else than that. Thank you, Timmy. I appreciate that. I have a lot of passion when it comes to this. Um, and it's just I like helping people. I found the more that you do help people, the more that you care about people, the more that it comes back to you in return. Did I build up a bond with my plugs? Some of them worked for me. Some of them were actually my employees because they needed like legal jobs. They were acquaintances. They were never friends of mine because I also knew the reality of what it came to being a dealer is dealers don't care about you. They care about the money. That's reality of it. So no, I didn't really have like this like bro bond with my dealers. I knew them well, but that was about it. Thank you, Paz. I appreciate that. I'm very open about my story just because I know that it helps people. Everybody has an amazing story out there. I think that everybody's story is really amazing. And it's amazing when you actually talk and listen to some of these other individuals out there, just people who've been through life, how amazing their story is and how much their strength is. And you look at these people and you're like, dude, like you're inspirational. And that's the thing is everybody has to own their story and realize how amazing you are and how much through life you've made it through. I think it's very amazing to really truly listen to other people's stories and realize how strong everyone is. And it reminds us that we're not alone. We get to this point, I think, so much when you get trapped into your head, you get trapped into your thoughts that you're the only one struggling, no one else is struggling like you, and you don't realize that so many people out there are. Um, we can only save ourselves from addiction. Exactly. You can only save yourself. No one's gonna help you with your addiction. Ain't no one gonna help you. You will. Mm. Everybody's been carpet surfers. Everybody knows what it's like to snort up fucking cat hair and dirt, and you're so high that you're trying to look at shit. I was so I was so fucked up as an addict. I literally budgeted coke. Like I would drop coke on purpose in my car on the floor mat because I was like, oh, if I run out, I can always come back and grab this shit off the floor mat. That's how fucking stupid I was. I had nights where I'd be sweating bullets, like with my car door open, pulling shit out of the fucking floor mat, throwing it on a plate. That's insanity, dude. Best regards from Austria. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Um, I think any insane addict knows what it's like to be a carpet surfer. I helped you quit coke. Well, I'm glad that you quit coke. Coke is a scary drug, man. Coke is one of the scariest drugs to me. How tall am I? I'm 6'4". I'm actually pretty fucking tall. Um, I always set my cameras up a little high though, so no one ever actually realizes how tall I am. This is with the carpet hits, yeah. Dude, the carpet surfing, we all know what it's like to be carpet surfers, man. And you're looking at stuff and you're so high that you can't tell if it's really white or if it's like a piece of sand or something. And so you don't question it, you just take it and you throw it all on the plate. And then you just smash it all the fuck up and then you fucking put it into a line. I mean, I used to have my credit cards used to have you have the card, the bottom area of it, the plastic on both ends were fucking worn off because I would scrape the card so much so I didn't waste any of it. Yeah, exactly. You take it. That's a fucked up thing. Glad to hear you could rise above the struggle. Seemed pretty tough battle. It was a bitch. Um, just a user, both met that. Yeah, Sharon, it is. It is that way. Holy crap! Yeah, no, sad but funny and insanity. It is insanity, man. The insanity is this: is an addict that we do some of the most fucked up shit there is. I mean, when in your right mind, have you ever laid out a line on the back of a toilet? You don't know what's been on that toilet. You don't even question if it's clean or not. You look at it as a solid surface that you can snort a line off of, and you're all excited to do it. So you lay out a line. Yeah, like, that is insanity. It's a fucking toilet. How many people have ever taken a toilet seat and you did a line off a fucking toilet seat? I mean, no person in their right fucking mind does that shit, but we as fucking addicts do. We think we're fucking genius. Alcohol is the worst to stop, especially after 15. It is, Lisa. Alcohol is very dangerous to stop, actually. Alcohol and booze are the deadliest of withdrawals. People don't realize that they affect your central nervous system. You can go into cardiac arrest and die. They are very dangerous withdrawals, especially when it comes to alcohol withdrawal. Definitely look into if you've been drinking for like 15 years and you are literally that addicted to alcohol and you want to get sober, I do strongly suggest finding a rehab center out there and going through the steps with supervision so that you don't fall into the number category of people who do die during getting sober from alcohol, unfortunately. Oh, I'm getting more and more enjoyment out of doing these lives. I'm currently physically dependent on kratom. It's no big deal. I can quit easily, but still a pain in the ass. Thank you, Messi. I appreciate that. It is a bitch to quit kratom, and kratom is hard to quit. I mean, I've ran into people that have really struggled with kratom addiction. Um, Kratom addiction is one of those things that because of what makes it so hard is that it bonds the receptors in your brain. So to try and break that bond is difficult, and it's not going to kill you. It's not deadly. Like when you really get it in your head. Like I have friends that have quit heroin cold turkey. CG Kid, who is a good friend of mine, he's a content creator. He's done a lot with addiction and stuff. He quit heroin cold turkey, and they'll tell me that it's a massive pain and it's a bitch to push through, but you can do it, and that's the thing that people have to, I think, sometimes remember. Uh, I was diagnosed with ADHD, outgrew it, went to the doc, want to start. He said it'd go up to I'm older now, so I don't think 20. I mean, James, I would just talk to your doctor on it and really get with your doctor of what he feels is best for you. And trial and error with it. And if you don't like the dose that a doctor puts you on, tell your doctor of how it's making you feel. I had doctors that I had one psychiatrist want me to do 60 milligrams of Adderall. I did it one day and I told them there ain't no fucking way I'm doing this because it did not make it put me into the extreme hyper focused. Like it was like doing meth now for me. So be careful when you trial and error yourself. 7 days clean from self-harm, congratulations. When on meth you wouldn't love these women, then it's just to use them. Yeah, Sharon. I mean, I think I did a video for you, I believe, on meth, and why it changes somebody. And I went into explaining a lot of that because it does change somebody for sure. What if an alcoholic thinks he can quit on his own without meetings rehab? Sometimes they can redheaded, and if they can, more power to them. Like more power to them. I needed meetings. I needed support. I needed to know that I wasn't alone. So meetings really helped me a lot. But again, we all get sober different ways. So I can't say like, hey, if you want to get sober, this is the one way to get sober. No, we all get sober in different ways. I don't take any anxiety meds anymore. I used to take Xanax for a while. I had really bad anxiety for a long time, especially after my dad's suicide. And so the doctor put me on that, and it did help a lot when I needed it to. Went to 6 months rehab. Congratulations. How long in recovery? 7/25/17. 3 months sober. Way to go, Sam. Thank you. Helped so much. Content harm reduction of relapse. Well, dude, I'm glad that you're still here. That I am glad that you're still here. CG Kid, one of my favorite YouTubers. Yeah, I used to be super addicted to Xanax back in the day. Quitting kratom should be a cake if I quit. It should be. CG Kid, Philip is one of my best friends. If you guys didn't know that, I mean, CG Kid is literally one of my best friends. I do talk to him every couple months. We went through a long phase where we would see each other like every other month and hang out. But he's gotten married and like life has started to go on. I'm married again. He lives in Texas. I live in Idaho, but definitely want to meet up with him again. He's a great human being. Life is hard. We're hard for my children. They don't go without it, but every spare penny goes on. Feel it. For the family sorted. You've been sober since 2018. Congratulations, Hippie Trippy. Congratulations. I would not like to be here a good part of the time. My family keeps you going. I mean, Paulie, I mean, find a purpose, dude. I mean, that's one thing too, is like so much of us just live unhappy lives because we allow ourselves to. I've allowed myself to. I've been in unhealthy relationships. I've been in unhealthy marriages. I've been in a lot of unhealthy shit, dude. That's fucked me up. My dad was a doctor of osteopathy. Glad to hear so keep on. Absolutely, Larry. It's just cool to hear people keeping on, keeping on. I like you lost. Yeah, no, I did. I've had a lot of jobs that have paid me a lot of money. I've been in RV sales most of my life. I did very well in it. Very successful at it. I was a very good salesman. Hence, I was also a very good manager. But I thought I could do even better with a lot of energy, like cocaine, and I would use alcohol to take the edge off and calm my ass down, and then I would spiral out of control. You feel called out? um, what age would I want to introduce? I started drinking at like 14. 14 is like when I started drinking. How do you get the daily fucked up shit depression out of your head? Depends on what's causing it. I would say this: you get a lot of it out of your head by going to therapy and starting to address it. Um, Starting to work through a lot of the fucked up shit in our head. Unfortunately, a lot of us won't acknowledge the fucked up shit in our head. I didn't acknowledge for a very long time a lot of the fucked up shit in my head. Um, I live an unhappy life, but I push on as you do the kids. I know, but your kids also want you to be happy too, and you got to remember that. What are you not happy with in life? Is it that you put yourself in a position where your debt outweighs what you bring in? Like when you really dissect it down, what makes you unhappy? What makes you depressed? That's what you have to focus on, and then starting to correct that shit. And it's not easy. Um, my mom suffers with anxiety. Text I send her self video, and she has been so much better. That's awesome. I'm glad, Leanne. No, I got introduced to alcohol just as a young age. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be one of the cool kids, dude. All the cool kids got fucking drunk, dude. I'm gonna get drunk with them. Couldn't think for my own, so I got drunk with them. That was stupid. I don't have people to tell. Feel ashamed of it. If I did tell them, you'd be surprised about strangers. Strangers make a huge difference. Most strangers out there genuinely actually care about people they don't know because there's no judgment there. Hi, Sharky. How do you pick your worst nightmare for trauma therapy? All the nightmares. You don't just pick one. I went through all my nightmares. I know meth wasn't really your thing, but didn't you still at least get euphoric on meth? I didn't get euphoric at all on meth. Meth gave me no euphoric feelings. Meth was too much like Adderall. It focused me in that I knew what I did. I hated the snort. I hated the burn. I never smoked meth. I've only snorted meth because, well, my nose was a vacuum, and you literally could lay out something and be like, dude, it's a line of coke, do it. And I wouldn't even question it. I would just fucking do it. That it gave me no euphoria. It gave me none of that. It didn't even give me that burst of like energy and stuff. It gave me literally I would do it, realize what it was, and be like, fuck. And now I'm pissed off. Now I'm actually in a bad mood. That's what meth did for me. I don't know what time's tough. It's my way out. Feel it. Strangers do make a difference. You are living proof of that in my life. Oh, good trap. I really appreciate what you're doing. Speak up. I've been through. Absolutely, Paulie. It helps to be out of that. It helps to just share. Damn, that's nuts. Especially knowing meth takes over 1,000 units of dopamine. It does. What up, Greg Givo? How are you, sweetie? Like a breath of fresh air. Thanks. I appreciate that. It just helps to see people speak up. If your therapist wants you to pick your worst nightmare, that's up to you, dude. Nightmares are different for everybody. When it came to me, I had just picked out all the bullshit, and I went through very systematically of this is what I need help with. Yeah, I know. I don't know why meth never did shit for me. It was never my drug of choice. It was not excitement to me. What was my rock bottom? Losing my job, destroying my marriage. For whatever reason, that time was different, man. Laying in bed, just going, dude, this is insanity. I keep repeating this fucking bullshit, and that was my rock bottom. Oh, my family would be. You'd be surprised. Why do you think your family would be ashamed? We always think our families would be ashamed, and a lot of times there's people in our family that aren't ashamed of us. There might be some that are, but the amazing thing is, there's a lot of times people in your family that are not ashamed of you. And a lot of times it's a family member that you don't realize, an uncle or an aunt or a cousin. Certain people out there, you'd be surprised. Every family out there, if you have a large family, I'm sure there's somebody in there that's probably an addict in recovery. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people are out there that understand addiction or aware of addiction or aware of depression or aware of anxiety or struggle with anxiety or go to a therapist. And so, I mean, it's important to reach out and just find some support. It's a process to get yourself out of it, man. Oh, I appreciate you, Grebo. Why isn't your shit showing up? I always thought you were a mod. There, now you are. Um, I got out of heavy drinking, but I was never an alcoholic by definition. There you go, Larry. At least you got out of it though, and that's the hardest thing is getting out of it. Thank you, babe. If you guys do want some support, I mean that number that Miss Impulsive tagged up on TikTok. That number you can text me. It is an AI at first. It is for over 18. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist, any of that, but it does give you the ability to message me, and I'll walk you through whatever you need help with. But again, it's that thing for me to be able to sort through who to help. I just get too many DMs. You are now, Grebo. Being able to ask you questions made my day, so thank you. Absolutely, Messy. You can always ask questions that's why I do the lives too, is so that people can ask questions. I don't go through my DMs. I'll check my emails. My wife will help me with those. But man, when I go to my DMs, I'll read like two DMs and I'm just like, fuck. And I just can't do it anymore. I'm over it. I'm done. Too much. Too much. Don't have an addiction, but I hate living. Why you hate living? I love living. There's a point that I hated living. You too, Jordans. I appreciate that. Candace and I are doing good. I enjoy living now. Miss Impulsive is my wife. Yes, she is. She was the one that was in here I was talking to just a little bit ago. Dude, DMs can be so much, man. They really can. DMs get so overwhelming sometimes. It's like, oh. Um, and so it helps me just to go live and be able to do it. How often do you drink now? Do you complete? Oh no, I don't drink now at all. There is no fucking drinking, and it's not to say that I couldn't drink. Who knows? Maybe I could drink this time and it would be different. Who knows? Maybe it would be. I've healed a lot of trauma. I've done a lot of work on myself. Who knows? Maybe it could be different. But I will never risk what I have to find out because alcohol literally never brought me anything good. I mean, even when I wasn't like it never took off the edge. It made me slow down. It made me gain a lot of weight. It put me in stupid, positions. Um, so now all of a sudden this it made no sense for me, and so I have no desire at all. Like I love my sober life. After being sober for almost 7 years, like I love my sober life. I love going to clubs sober. I love going to bars sober. I love going out to eat dinner, sober. I love the way that food tastes sober. I love the way that I can save money sober. I love everything that sobriety gives me because that's one of the things that I don't think a lot of people do take into account is how much money we fucking blow when we're drunk or we're high. One of the things is I would do lines of coke. I would be drunk as fuck, and guess what I would do? I'd get onto Amazon, just trying to fill a hole, man. Because that's the one thing that I don't think people realize. Like you get to this certain point of just so fucked up that you are depressed that you keep trying to fill this hole. You're just whatever you can. So I mean, some people resort to sex, some people resort to fucking gambling, some people resort to buying shit online. You're literally like fighting all over the place to fill this fucking hole, and you're not. You can never buy enough shit to fill this hole. You can never have enough sex to fill this hole. You can never have enough to fill this hole, and this hole just keeps getting fucking bigger. And I will say this is like not having any of that is like the fucking best. Worst day clean, exactly. Worst day clean is better than best day loaded, dude. My best day loaded was always bad. The reason I mostly don't drink is being responsible with my money. There you go, Larry, dude. I was not responsible with my money at all drunk. I would go and spend $300 on a fucking dinner. And I'm so high and drunk that I don't even probably didn't even finish it. I mean, I've lost my shit at restaurants and would storm out of fucking emergency exits and stuff and just be a piece of shit. So fuck. How do you find the will to live? You want it and know that it gets better. Starting trauma therapy has scared me. Is this normal to feel this way? Yeah, it is, Lynn. It is. You get to go face your demons, man. It's kind of fun, dude. The more that you face your demons and the more that you face shit that you've been through, eventually you start to really see changes and it's good changes. I watched a shit ton of your videos today. Thank you. Absolutely, Morris. I appreciate that. No, if you know the videos help somebody and stuff, share the videos. I appreciate it. Have I ever messed up your teeth while messed up? I never messed up my teeth while I was messed up. No. Um, for whatever reason, I just drank so much alcohol, so I never even also dealt with like the dry mouth. That's one of the side effects. Like meth and coke can fuck up your mouth real bad. Not only is it the non-hygiene part of it, but it's also the dry mouth is actually very damaging for it. And so it's one of those that I was always constantly drinking alcohol though. Does coke make you feel good? Coke makes you feel amazing. Yeah, for 20 minutes. I mean, that's the scariest side effect of cocaine is that it makes you feel amazing for 20 minutes. And then it drops your ass. And then you get massively depressed. Um, Clean for coke, 25 years, rehab, it never helped me. I just had enough. There you go, Terry. It's same here. I didn't go to rehab. I literally just was like, fuck this, and started fighting. And knew that it had to be better than the fucking nightmare that I was in. Um, yeah, don't try, dude. That's the thing. Like people don't realize the one thing with cocaine is it is amazing. That is the scariest part about it. For 20 minutes, and then it fucks you. We talked about you on the sixth floor. It is the sober guy. I've had a lot of rehabs and stuff reach out to me. The but I'm glad. Battling opiates now, it's hard. It is. It's jail, man. It's fucking painful and it's hard. Um, it is. It's opiates is no joke, man. It is a lot of pain. Hi, Claudia. Bro explained the best time of his life and expecting us not to try it. I wouldn't. I mean, that's the thing. But that is the reality of it. That is the reality of it. Just a question why I just don't deal with anyone under the age of 18. You're a minor. All my stuff is for those above 18. I will say this: if you're a kid and you're struggling with addiction, go talk to your parents. Go talk to a police officer. Go ask people for help. There is help out there. Um, I've been in 9 times, but I think a serious this time. I hope you are serious this time. And if it takes you 12, 15 more times, hey, that's okay too. After you've lost your partner, my heart goes out to you, Claudia, for losing your partner. That's not easy. You need to be done with alcohol. You can be done with alcohol. You literally have to want to get sober. If you're not sober right now and you're wondering why am I not sober right now, you don't want it. You ain't there. There's nothing wrong with it. You're just not there. You may be there one day, but you're not there right now. You have to be there, dude. You have to be to that point where you would fucking do anything for sobriety. If somebody said you got to go fucking run 25 miles right now and you're going to be coughing up fucking blood and all this, but you're going to get sober doing it, you won't even question it. You just go fucking do it. I mean, you have to want it that fucking bad. You have to want it so bad that you will blindly fucking do whatever the fuck it takes. Don't be too embarrassed, man. Don't, dude. I started trying to get sober at 23. 23 is the first time I went to AA trying to get sober. I didn't get sober till I was 36. Don't be ashamed, dude. It's your story. And you know what? You sharing that and saying, dude, it inspires and helps other fucking people. You're welcome. You're 36. Boom. There you go, dude. It's your age, dude. What's up, Space Between My Ears? How are you? I know if you're in a new relationship, but do you mourn your wife's suicide? Not like I used to. I mean, it doesn't dictate me. She'll always be a part of me. I love her. Always will. She was my best friend, but you also have different love for different people. And like my love with my wife is very healthy. It's not toxically codependent like my wife's. That's one thing that people don't realize is my wife who committed suicide, she was addicted to benzos and alcohol. I was addicted to alcohol and cocaine. We were literally addicts. We were very toxically codependent, and we both would get each other fired up and fucked up. So it was not good. Battling your own mind at 25 feels like hell, broke loose, intrusive thoughts are horrible. I feel it more. Reach out for help, though, and it helps not go through those thoughts by yourself. You've been on Focalin for 2 months. For the first time in my life, I've been in routine discipline, waking up at 7. Awesome. Way to go. I'm hoping to keep these skills intact. My best thing of keeping the skills like that intact is to literally set a routine. Routine is my saving grace and my sanity. Routine keeps me sane because I know what to expect and it gives me control. And it makes me know what's happening, so it calms so much my anxiety. A routine is just, after doing it so long, it's amazing how it's easy to keep those routines up. Benzos are the devil, dude. Aren't they great? I'm battling I haven't seen you in a while. Hospital last week for mental health problem. Way to go, Allie. Well, I'm glad you're out of it, dude, and I'm glad you went. Does it get better over time losing to someone from suicide? Yeah, it does. Go to trauma therapy. If you've lost to someone to suicide, go to trauma therapy. You have abandonment trauma that's massive right now, and that abandonment trauma will transfer into other relationships where you're going to start self-sabotaging relationships. Somebody literally just vanished out of your life. That is abandonment. Go and realize not to start repeating these cycles to self-destroy your relationships. Oh my God, these are cute. I like these. That's a good idea for it. I like those. Lost my big bro at 38 on an OD. Heart goes out to you. When should someone go to rehab? If you feel that you need to go to rehab, go to rehab. If you're questioning and you think maybe I should go to rehab, maybe it'll help, go to rehab. Just do it. Eric, how old were you when the first time you tried it? Thank you. I was 14 when I started drinking. I was like 17 when I tried Coke. I didn't really get obsessed with Coke until I was about 23. When I was 23, I remember it. We were at a dive bar in El Cajon, California. We were shooting pool. I was drunk, and my friend that I was with was like, dude, let's go hit up and let's get a bag, dude. And I was like, okay, sure. I had a bag, and I remember sitting in the parking lot, breaking it up on a fucking, what up, Philly Dave? How are you, brother? I remember breaking it up on a fucking CD case and just doing fucking line. And that first line just was like, I'm fucking complete. And that was the scariest thing in the world, because that's now how I started to become obsessed. Is this gave me everything. It and removed all this anxiety that I had, and I had all this self-worth. It gave me fucking confidence. It gave me so much, I thought, and it became an obsession. Ever close calls with the police back in the day? A lot of my connections did, but I never had any close calls with the cops. I wanted them, but is beer as bad as liquor? It can be. You want a pen too? I'll let her know, Space. Did I go through that too? I went through, yeah, Claudia, I had to go through a lot of abandonment trauma therapy, losing my wife and my dad to suicide, to really stop self-sabotaging my relationships. I would get into relationships and I would grenade the relationships on purpose, because I had such a belief that people were going to leave me regardless, that if I left them first and I ruined the relationship and I played the victim, it reinforced my abandonment trauma for me, and it gave me this false sense of control, and it was extremely unhealthy. Dave, what you been up to, buddy? What happened to your other account? I'm gonna follow you back with this. Have you ever heard of "It's the only drug I fear, way too good, did it once, never again"? I've never actually heard of it, Messy. I haven't, dude. I just learned like a little while ago, like about a year ago, what M30s were in blues, and that people were like doing the pill press thing with them. I never even realized that. Like that wasn't around when I was fucking using, and it probably was. Like I had dealers and stuff that would pill press shit. But dude, like I was so close-minded because it wasn't like I didn't like benzos. I didn't like opiates. I didn't like pills in general. So it was like I was so obsessed with other stuff. Early Meyer, what you do? Hydrocodone. Dude, that's scary stuff, dude. Hydrocodone, Norcos. That was the only opiate that like scared me. I feel like addiction is not severe enough to matter. It is enough to matter. Calm those fucking feelings. And I will say this is when it comes to hydrocodone, dude, get some help, man, because it's gonna suck. You're gonna go through fucking gnarly withdrawals. I have friends that are still on hydrocodones. Um, Literally get some help. You know, whether it's a doctor, whoever. Um, that I have a personal has a personal place in my heart when it comes to hydrocodone, just because it was the only opiate I ever took. I never took massive amounts of it, but whenever I did take it, man, it gave me so much energy, and like, my body never hurt. I felt like fucking Superman, fucking slamming shots, fucking working. That shit had a scary side to it. But I can tell you this, that you do matter. That's the thing with most addicts, is we don't think we matter, or our addiction isn't bad enough. I know what it's like to go to an NA meeting and tell people that I'm a coke addict, and people are looking at me going, yeah, well, I was sucking dick for heroin. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry I wasn't sucking dick for fucking heroin. Doesn't mean that your addiction was any worse or better than mine. It's hard for Yeah, embrace the suck. Exactly, Guru. Embrace the suck, dude. Anybody who knows what getting off of opiates is like, just embrace the hell, man. And it's a beautiful hell. And you'll come out such a strong motherfucker if you make it through. Like, you fucking will, dude. You are unstoppable. Mom takes pills for the day. I get it, Space. And that's the thing. Like, I don't think that opiates were created for a reason. I don't think that anyone needs to live in chronic pain. I don't believe that they deserve that. And so for those people who take it because they are in that chronic pain, I believe that it's okay, man. I'd rather see somebody who's on opiates, with their set amount or whatever, because they truly have a challenge of pain. But we as addicts also have to admit, are we really in that much pain? Addicts are a little different. Where are you going?
A little walk.
Do you want me to go with you?
You want?
Yeah, I'll go with you.
I want to go before it gets dark.
Okay, I gotta go on a walk before it gets dark. So I'm gonna go on my walk now. That's how my live streams usually end. But if you do want to text me, you can text me. If you click the link in the bio, there is a number there you can text. It's $4.99 a day if you want to text a message. It is for everybody who is 18 years and older. But I am going to, I don't have the membership things for my channel. I literally don't do a lot of this stuff for money. But I am going to go for this walk because this is what's the most important thing in the world to me, is my relationship right now. So I'm going to go with my wife and go walk. But I will go live again tomorrow at some point. So I love you guys, and I appreciate everybody who joins. You just texted, just paid.